Well, Dave, great to see you. I gather you're at camp at the moment. Tell us where you are.
Well, I'm at Lily Shoals Natural Sports Centre. It's the home of Archery GB, and we also have gymnastics and trampolining and things like that. So some of the team who are in the Olympics right now are competing, so we know them and we're friends with them. So we're encouraging them all.
Oh, it's a fantastic bond. No doubt you're glued to the telly when you're not training.
Absolutely.
Then, right?
I know, it's not very often I get to watch catch-up TV now.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us. Everyone at Disability Sport Wales is delighted, and we're delighted that you've been selected for your second Paralympics. Before we look ahead to preparations and indeed that imminent departure to Tokyo, Rio, of course, is where you made your Paralympic debut. Tell us about that experience and what you learned.
Well, I learned how to handle the heat, to be honest, because it was I couldn't believe anywhere could be so hot, because in the stadium that we were shooting in Rio, we had the Christ the Redeemer up on the hill in front of us, so it was a fantastic venue. It's where the carnival starts and finishes in Rio, but it's full of concrete, so the radiating heat was absolutely so intense, and there was nowhere to keep cool. Even the shade was boiling. So
wow.
with my MS, I suffered and struggled a little bit with that, but I've learned from that. So I've got some cooling strategies in place ready for Tokyo, because apparently it's even hotter.
Well, the humidity level is going to be pretty intense. And this is what we all forget, don't we? You know, when you're competing on the world stage, and these kind of elements that you've got to cope with, as well as keeping and maintaining that focus, especially with a sport like archery.
Well, we had the opportunity to go out to Tokyo in 2019 and watch the Olympic test event, but it was cloudy and it was quite cold. So we didn't really experience any of the extreme temperatures that they have. So
it was luring you into false pretenses then, wasn't it?
It was like being back in Wales.
Yeah, exactly.
Rainy.
A warm welcome. That's right. Yeah. But archery, I know, has been something that is very special to your heart. I know you had a break from it for quite a long period of time, but what gives you that impetus and that goal and that drive, and the fact that, you know, you were part of the Team GB and you're going to your second Paralympics?
Well, apart from the phenomena of all that, I still can't believe that all these years later, because I started when I was, say, 13 years to 18 years, gave up for 30 years. I came back when I retired from work due to my MS. My wife said, you're not going to sit around the house. You're going to go back to archery. I said, I don't know anybody. Yes, you do, she said. So I borrowed some equipment. And within 1 year, I became European para champion. I was #1 in Wales able-bodied, and I won gold and bronze medals at the Europeans. So I don't know. I still don't know. I must have something, but I don't know what it is. Maybe that's the key.
It's like riding the crest of the success wave, with all due respects, to have 3 decades away from this sport. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal in the sense the way that you returned and your bounce back with that kind of success is an unbelievable story, really, isn't it?
I believe I must have had good teachers years ago. That's what it is. It actually, something stuck.
Definitely. Now, you are at training camp at the moment, and the weeks now, the countdown has begun for you to get on that plane to go to Tokyo. Generally, how are you feeling? How's it going?
I'm feeling really fit. There was a setback because I was one of the shielders. So I had to have 8 months away from the sport where other athletes could compete. So I had to try and make a makeshift gym in the house and train as best I could. Wasn't always ideal, but the team up here absolutely Zoom called me, encouraged me, kept me going. My wife Angie, she was fantastic, getting me to do the stuff that I didn't really want to do, because MS makes you feel a little lazy, even though you're not lazy.
It's an interesting one. We'll talk about Angie in a minute, but in terms of COVID and challenges, how hard did you find that kind of element to drive yourself on, in the sense that self-isolation, 8 months is a long time, isn't it?
It is, yes. And I suppose I could have been a bit lazy, but obviously I was sticking to time schedules and I was prompted. So I was reminded all the time, right, you need to do this now. Get on that bike.
I've met Angie, and we must talk about her because I know she's your soulmate. But also, when you speak to any athlete, elite athlete, what I call the backroom staff, it's not just about the coaches, it's about the family. They play such a pivotal role in terms of success, don't they?
Absolutely. There's no way that I could have even contemplated getting back into the sport without the assistance and the help of tens of people, you know. When I go to a competition, there's always people willing to help me with scoring or collecting my arrows or help me with the kit. I got a phenomenal family in archery and at home that's really positive and helps me.
Let's talk about archery, because obviously from Disability Sport Wales's perspective, we have a lot of kind of multi-sport events, the in-sport. And I have to say that when I go to the one in Cardiff, and it's no disrespect to the other sports, because I love watching them all, but I always head first to the archery, because I think it's wonderful to see children who maybe have never taken up a bow and arrow before just be taught and shown what values and what this sport can bring. So as an ambassador for your sport, what would you say to any up and coming youngsters who might want to take it up?
Well, probably like most people, and probably yourself, the way I got into archery was probably at the fun fair when I had a little go trying to pop the balloons or get it in the target. And as soon as you get your first gold, that's it, you're hooked.
Yeah.
You'll never look back. And it's something for all the family, not just the kids. So what we do find is that when a young child or 8 to 10 starts archery, the parents come and they watch and they're sat there reading their books and they're thinking, I wouldn't mind having a go at this. And then you find that the parents stay, but sometimes the kids drift off because they've got other activities and things they want to do. Yes, it's quite phenomenal.
And I love the skill set and the tactics and the technical issue, because your concentration levels have to be absolutely high, don't they? It's paramount to success.
Well, it's probably only about 60% strength. It's all muscle memory, but the mental side of it is absolutely phenomenal because of the narrow gains that you need to make. I mean, you can become good. To become exceptional, you have to have a good mental attitude and a good process.
And just seeing you wear your Great Britain vest, oh my goodness. And I love the fact you've cleaned the room for us, by the way, draped with the flag.
Hiding all the rubbish. I'm hiding the rubbish.
But when you got the team kit, that's always a big landmark moment where you think this is real now and I'm going.
Yeah, it was a bit different from when we went to Rio, because we went up to Loughborough and Adidas was there. But this time, because we couldn't do that due to COVID, they put us, the team here, put on a special kitting out process. So they built up all these blocks and we all had our little changing rooms. And the kit was phenomenal. We even had a nice blue Peter badge, which was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant.
That's my second one. I've always wanted one, now I got two.
Oh, that's amazing. God, you've achieved already. Love that.
Yeah, they made the kitting out dream come true. It was phenomenal.
So now, the next couple of weeks, obviously intense training, but you starting to look at the opposition and thinking about your kind of rivals going out to Tokyo in terms of getting as prepared as you can?
I know it's a bit of a cliche, but I always say, this is the opposition, I can't control other people, you know, so I don't know whether they're going to shoot good or bad at the time. I can only think about what I do in my own processes. And I think I've got the ability to I don't worry about things when I'm on the competition field. A lot of archers have adrenaline rushes, which can be positive, but for some reason, I don't panic. I know what to do. Doesn't always go as I plan, but I know what to do. So I just get on with that.
So no doubt, I can tell you're completely hyped. No doubt you just want, not wishing your life away, but you just want to get on that plane now, right?
Absolutely, yes. After about several COVID tests later, yeah, we're going to get on that plane.
Well, listen, we're all flying the flag for you back in Wales. Do us proud. We're already proud of you. It's fantastic that you're going to your second Paralympics, and fingers crossed. Hope it goes well. And yeah, do us proud. Take care, Dave.
Thank you. Diolch am fi.